Hello, everyone, and welcome to On Purpose Astrology. I'm Mandy Lockley, and I'm recording this on the 15th of January. On the 18th of January 2026, we have a new moon in Capricorn, the first new moon of the year so far. And I have called this video A Woman Reading Tea Leaves. This will make sense in a second. What does that mean? Well, let's have a glance at the chart. It's a really interesting chart, actually. Super interesting chart. So you can see here in the square there, we can see 28 degrees, 43 degrees of Capricorn. We've got the sun and we've got the moon in a conjunction. It's the new moon. That's what the new moon is. It's a conjunction between the sun and the moon, and it's the start of the new lunar cycle, which is about 29 days. Perfect. So far, so good. It's the beginning of a new cycle. It's the seeding of the cycle. It's the dark of the moon. It's the time for planning. But you can see here it's joined by, from left to right, or from bottom to top, Mars, Mercury in Capricorn, and then also Venus and Pluto in Aquarius are also in conjunction with this new moon. So that's really interesting in itself. It's a big build-up of energy, the energy of Capricorn and the energy of Aquarius. Now, traditionally, both Capricorn and Aquarius, as we know, are ruled by the planet of Saturn. Saturn makes a connection here to this full moon, to this new moon by sextile. A sextile is a aspect of opportunity. It's planets in signs that work well together. Traditionally, as I said, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but in the modern astrology, and you pay your money, you take your choice, and I tend to look at both of them, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus here at the top of the chart. You can ignore the houses because this is a chart set for London. Unless you're looking at the chart for London, you're in London, or your birth chart's in London, etc. Then the houses will be irrelevant. The segments, the houses are the segments that we see on the chart. So Uranus here is at 27 degrees, 34 minutes retrograde in Taurus, and it's making a trine aspect to this new moon. Again, that's it's a flowing aspect. It's where things happen with ease. It's seen as a positive aspect often in astrology, but the ease of things that happen, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. The energy can work both ways. So we've got Saturn. Saturn is conjunct Neptune. It's also in a sextile to Uranus. Uranus and Pluto are in an out of sign trine. So we've got sextiles and trines. We've got this long running, it's going to be long running, amazing configuration between Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And also, if you look at Uranus, top of the chart, Sedna is there as well. That's Sedna at 0 degrees of Gemini. Sedna is the Inuit goddess of the oceans, the protector of the ocean mammals, the ocean beings. She's about metamorphosis. She's about stepping into the divine, seeing things from a more divine perspective. And isn't this what all the outer planets are about? The outer planets, this configuration of outer planets. Andre Barbeau, in his book Mundane Astrology, written years ago, he's in spirit now. It's translated again a few years ago from the French into the English by the Astrological Association. It's a brilliant book if you're interested in mundane astrology, i.e. the astrology of world events, leaders and countries, etc. He describes this configuration of Pluto with the Saturn, Neptune conjunction, and the Uranus trine Pluto and sextile Saturn and Neptune, etc. There's so much going on. There's so many intertwining cycles here. But Barbeau describes it as benign. He describes it as a serious opportunity for cultural change, for change that benefits the world. So this is where we can set our intention. We can set our intention to have a world where things are better, things are fairer, things are more constructive, that the systems and the institutions and the structures that fade away, that dissolve and fade away or fall down or collapse, which is very much about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Neptune's at 29 degrees of Pisces. It's a really kind of, the very, very last degree of the whole zodiac, and soon to go into Aries, the very, very first degree of the zodiac. So you've got this theme here of beginnings and endings, new beginnings, but also endings, as we see the end in February. Coming up on the 20th of February, it's going to be Neptune in exact Aries conjunction with Saturn, which is also moving very quickly now towards Aries. So there's an opportunity here, and it's up to us to make the most of that opportunity. And we can start by, I think, during this new moon here. This new moon is a time for planning. It's the dark of the moon. It's a seeding time. When Saturn and Neptune go into Aries, and later in July when Uranus goes into Gemini, we're going to be really having that fullness of that fire air energy in the outer planets. So we'll see this reflected in the outer world. Things are going to speed up, things are going to feel a lot faster, there's going to be new beginnings. We must remember to honor the past, to honor and let go of the things that we need to let go of that have changed. As I said, endings and new beginnings is a huge theme. It's been a huge theme for a while, but now as we go into more into these new beginnings, we can take this time, I think, during the new moon to rest up, to start planning and seeding and thinking about our future, but also remaining very much in the present. If we feel like we need to take action, this new moon is a time. Remember, it's Capricorn here. It's Capricorn. It's about caution. It's about patience. So I think if you can have patience for a little while longer, and in the meantime, in your rest periods, in the time when you're planning or seeding, or when you're doing meditation, or you're having thoughts or intentions, make those thoughts or intentions positive. You can bless the world around you. You can send blessings and prayers and intentions for positive outcomes, and this really makes a huge difference. I've been doing a practice for a little while now where every morning you can do it we can do it several times a day if you want. Sometimes I do, but generally every morning before I get out of bed, but I'm fully awake, and I just think about, I go into my heart space, and the sun here is your heart, right? The sun represents the heart. The moon represents your emotions and your habits and routines. So I've made it a habit and a routine to go into my heart space in the morning and just feel that heart space, feel the little bits, feel that cell, that original first cell in the heart, in my heart, which is a place of love. It's a place of consciousness. It's a place of connection spiritually, and extending that sense of love, that sense of new beginnings, extending that out into literally just by my imagination alone, by imagining, for example, just everyone on my street where I live, or in my neighborhood, or in London. You can just extend it out as far as you like, to the edge of the universe, or even to the multiverse if you want to. But just starting small is great, and just sending blessings. I'll send the blessings that for anyone that wants to receive it, that today will be a great day, that today will be a wonderful day, that it'll be a peaceful day. It'll be the kind of day that people want and need, right? Wants and need, that's very good, very good. So this is a good practice for the new moon. Wants and needs, of course, is the sun is what we want and the moon is what we need. And what is really interesting, if you get to that still point where you can actually listen. When I did it yesterday, actually, I'm quite clairvoyant and quite clairaudient, i.e. you hear sounds and voices, and also clairsentient. So I have these clairs. I am a trained psychic medium, as many of you know. And I heard a voice come back and say, "Thank you." And I was just blessing everyone in my street, all the families that live on my street, as well as all the pets, all the creatures that live on our street. We've got foxes, we've got squirrels, we've got birds galore. And I heard a very clear, strong thank you. Who that was, I don't know. But these kind of thoughts and feelings and ideas and just these positive intentions is really, it really can make a difference. We don't want to set the intention of a particular thing happening for someone or something. Just keep it general, sending love, sending blessings. I hope things work out well. That's all. That's enough. That's enough. No more than that. No, don't just sort of say, well, if you know your neighbour's doing this, that, and the other, I want you to have this, because that's none of your business, right? So it's just keep it as general as possible. And realise and understand that even if you don't get feedback, even if you don't get voices in your head or a feeling or a sense that it's been acknowledged, that it's been felt, that it's been received, because it won't be received by everyone. I think people have to be open to it, of course, but know that it does make a difference. So that's one little practice for the new moon. Now, why have I called this video "A Woman Reading Tea Leaves"? Well, this is the Sabian symbol for 29 degrees of Capricorn. So it's a Sabian symbol, Sabian, the Sabian symbol for 29 degrees of Capricorn. There are Sabian symbols for all 360 degrees of the zodiac. If you're looking at the Sabian symbol, you can go to sabiansymbols.com, where you'll find all of them, all the Sabian symbols for all 360 degrees. You always round it up. So 28 degrees of Capricorn, you look up 29 degrees of Capricorn. You always round it up. And that Sabian symbol is a woman reading tea leaves. Where did Sabian symbols come from? Well, they came through a psychic medium just over 100 years ago called Elise Wheeler, all 360 of them, and she recorded them, wrote them down, etc. And then a couple of astrologers, Mark Edmund Jones and Dame Rudyard, both individually did a little bit more work with those and came up with some themes, some meanings, some suggested meanings for these Sabian symbols. And I think I found them to be pretty relevant, actually. I did a talk recently where I looked at the Sabian symbols for Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto, and it really did resonate. And I will probably do that again at some point in one of these talks on YouTube. But what's really, really interesting, it was actually for the 1 degree, the 1 degree of Aries, for when it was for when Saturn, Neptune go into Aries, when we really go into that new beginning, which is in February. Those are the symbols I looked up. Anyway, that's just an aside. What does a woman reading tea leaves, what can we mean? What can we extrapolate from that? What can we extrapolate that to think about, to contemplate, to have an understanding of what one of the deeper, more perhaps we might say esoteric meanings of this new moon in Capricorn? Well, it's about actually what I've been talking about. It's about that being a little bit psychic, right? A woman reading tea leaves. You remember that? Oh, it's quite old-fashioned now, isn't it? When we used to drink before tea bags, we used to drink loose tea, and you'd find tea leaves at the bottom of the cup. Often I remember when I was a kid, and I'd go around to an auntie's, and you'd be given tea in a cup and saucer, a bone china cup and saucer, and there'd be tea leaves at the bottom. And a tea reader would look at the patterns of the tea leaves in the bottom of the cup, and they would make some predictions. They would have some ideas. It would be a bit of a divination. So really it's about seeing things that other people miss. These are one of the meanings that it's described as one of the meanings. Some of the meanings I'm describing here are from this sabiansymbols.com website. So it goes into more detail than just a woman reading tea leaves. Seeing things that others miss. What are you seeing that others might be missing during this new moon? just like a tea leaves reader sees patterns in the tea leaves. Someone normal just looks, oh, well, it's just some old tea leaves in the bottom of the cup. Or, I got a bit of that in the back of my throat. It wasn't very pleasant, blah, blah, blah. It's about seeing things differently and using your intuition and trusting your gut at this time. Using your intuition and trusting your gut. If anything I've said in this talk doesn't feel right with you, then dismiss it. Don't just do the practice I've mentioned, or don't sort of meditate on some of these themes if it doesn't feel right for you. Trust your own gut, trust your own instinct. Put aside your skepticism. It's also a time when you might meet skepticism in yourself. You might be feeling skepticism now. Listen to this. Listen to the messages around you. Listen to the messages within the messages and underneath the messages, where others might just see some old tea leaves and might be thinking, I've had my cup of tea, what's next? Perhaps you want to take the time and have a look at those tea leaves that are left over, talking metaphorically, of course. Unless you want to try reading tea leaves, why not? It might be a great time. But stop and pause, new moon, stop and pause. What might that mean? If anything, again, your own skepticism, other skepticism, trust your own instincts, trust your own gut on the information that you receive. But be open to hearing and receiving the messages, just like I was probably open to receiving the message, thank you, after sending blessings to my neighborhood. So those are just a few things for the new moon. I say this a lot, and if you watch these videos a lot, you'll know I talk about grounding. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's the end of Capricorn. We're coming to the end of Capricorn season. The sun will soon be going into Aquarius. The moon will be moving very quickly toward, before the end of the day really on the 18th. So by the 19th, the moon will have gone into Aquarius, and then, of course, in a few days, that Mercury and Mars will have moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius as well. So now is a good time during this new moon period, and really I'm recording this on the 15th. We're really starting now, and then a day or so after the new moon. It's not just one day, it's not just 1951 p.m. 1951 in London. It'll be different in your time zone. Just add and deduct the times for your time zone and when the exact time. But it's not about the exact time. It's very rarely about the exact time in a astrological chart. It's about, the timing is important, but it's about the process. It's about the period. The period's always longer than that second that it's actually exact, when there's any kind of conjunction, square, position, blah, 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 anything like that. So what I'm saying here, use this time from today, the next few days, to really kind of go within a little bit, but also to keep things grounded as well. It's a practical, pragmatic, resourceful time, Capricorn. So make the most of that energy when you can. It likes to plan, it likes to organize. There might be conversations around planning and organization. We've got Mars, while it's in Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn is really, really strong in Capricorn. It's dignified in Capricorn according to the essential dignities, which are worth looking into if you don't know about them, which signs work well or don't work well in particular planets. And while we associate Aries as the ruler of Mars as the ruler of Aries, and also traditionally the ruler of Scorpio, Mars is also incredibly strong in Capricorn. So there's that feeling, there's that sense of wanting to act, but wanting to act in a measured and practical way. It's great for getting things done. Make lists, write lists. We've got Mercury exactly pretty much conjunct Mars on this new moon. Make lists, make plans, think things through carefully, and as I said, step into that intuition. Try and read the messages beneath the messages, because it seems like quite a mystical kind of new moon. And don't forget, it's connecting very strongly to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune's nearly done with Pisces, so we've got that last chance to sort of really use our imagination. that's it for now. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful new moon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of January and the rest of 2026. I've just done a video published the same day as this one where I kind of introduce myself, share something about my passion for astrology and what my astrology is all about, and a little bit about what my offerings are. So it's only 10-12 minutes long. So if you get the chance, please do watch that video. And I'd love it if you could subscribe. As I said in my last video I did last week, I had a bit of a hiatus, haven't been doing much on this YouTube channel because I've had so much else going on. But again, starting in this new year, I have lots of plans to really reinvigorate this YouTube channel. So yeah, please, there's lots of good reasons to subscribe. I'm going to stop the share now, and I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you to all the subscribers over the last year or so or two that I've been doing this channel, and many more to come. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Bye bye.